I want to talk to you today about dependability and ask the question, are you dependable? When Paul was writing the book of 1 Corinthians, he said that Timothy was dependable. He wrote in 1 Corinthians 4:17, "That's why I sent Timothy to you. He is my dear and dependable son in the Lord." The Greek word for dependable comes from the root word that is used for faith. It is used to describe a man who's honest in his business transaction, or will keep his word, or uphold his end of the transaction. The Hebrew word for dependable is a word that is translated all man, and it describes the dependability of God's word. In Psalm 19:7, David says, "The testimony of the Lord is dependable. It makes gullible people wise." You and I are to be dependable. God's word is dependable. So here's a question using that word. Am I as reliable as God's word? You see, God's word never changes. It's true when the sun comes up. It's true when it rains. It's true when it's cloudy. Every day, God's word is steady and dependable. Can that be said about you? Are you up and down, dependent on the circumstances? Are you reliable today, but not reliable tomorrow? Are we only dependable if we feel like doing what we said we would do? But if we don't feel good, we can't be relied upon to do it. Is our reliability dependent upon how much energy we have, or whether or not our heart is into it? Here are some quick characteristics of a dependable person. A dependable person does what he says he's going to do. You keep your promises. James said in chapter 5, verse 12, "Let your yes be yes and your no be no." You do what you say you're going to do. A dependable person does what he says he's going to do when he says he's going to do it. Do we plan on being on time? Are we on time? Or do we slow others down by being late on our promises or our performances? A dependable person is where he says he'll be when he says he'll be there. A dependable person is accurate in what he says. You can count on him not to exaggerate, lie, or even understate. Proverbs says a faithful witness does not lie, but a false witness breathes out lies. A dependable person is consistent in what he says. It's not one thing today and another thing tomorrow. He doesn't let his moods dictate his behaviors. David said in Psalm 15:4 that a faithful person keeps their promises even when it's hurt. I would encourage you to ask yourself just how dependable you are. Here's a couple of questions to help you find out how dependable you are. When you give your word to do something, can others count on you to do it, even if it's more difficult than you thought it would be? If you run into difficulties, do you go ahead and finish the task, or do you let the difficulties become an excuse for not finishing? Do you picture the things you do for others is actually serving Jesus? Can your service providers depend on you to pay your bills on time? Can members of your family count on you to turn down other opportunities in order to be with them for special events? Can the Lord depend on you to make the wisest use of the resources He's given you? Do you graciously but firmly decline invitations that'll distract you from carrying out your responsibilities? Are you consistently on time when you're supposed to be somewhere? When you're given a task to be done and accept it, do you normally finish it on time? When you're given a task, can others depend on you to do it? Or do they need to constantly remind you of what you said you'd do? Are you consistent in the way you work and relate to others, regardless of how you feel or what mood you're in? When you speak, are you pretty factual and accurate? Or instead do you exaggerate and embellish? Being a dependable person is to be like Jesus Christ. He is the ultimate dependable person. Ask yourself today, can those in your life sphere really count on you as being dependable? God bless you.